Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, premieres tonight at midnight. Welcome back to the Voiceovers Podcast. I'm 24K Logan. So, I know that a lot of you have been anticipating me to do a breakdown for the Season 4 trailer of Raising Kanan, and I apologize for not getting to that, but what I am going to do is give a full-on prediction and my overall thoughts as into what I believe is going to happen in Season 4. I'm going to try to do a breakdown of each character, but I'm mainly going to focus on the characters that I believe will be the most critical to this season's storyline, and just the ones that I overall think, make the most sense for the direction that the show is going. But let's get started. So let's start off with Kanan, right? So of course, at the end of season 3, Kanan of course had killed Ronnie to basically help save Rock, and he also witnessed Rock kill his father, Detective Howard. So in the last couple of seasons, but especially season 3, Kanan has been at odds with his mom. He has been trying to be his own man. He's even started his own operation to a degree and really trying to gain some independence from Rock. Now, in this season, I could see them patching some things up, but not early on. And I think that this is the season where we're finally going to see Kanan tap into his inner man. I don't know if we're going to see him turn into the Kanan Stark that we saw in the original Power, but I do think that he's going to start stepping into more of his manhood. I think the stakes are very high this season, and he's obviously going to be a big part of that. I mean, he is the main character of the show, so I think that's the overall direction for Kanan. I don't think that we're going to see him, Tommy, and Ghost this season. If they do that, I think that's going to be towards the very end. I also expect him to finally cross paths with Unique and possibly do some work with him, which leads me to my next point, Unique. Now, Unique is my favorite character in the entire Power universe. Yes, not just for this particular show, but if you include Power Book 4, if you include the original Power show, and you include Power Book 2 Ghost, Unique is hands down my most favorite character in Power universe history. Now, most of us, or a lot of us, thought that Unique was dead towards the later half of season 3, but of course we see what happens at the very end. He is very much so still alive. I think that episode 1 is going to tie in, and it's going to go back in time just a little bit to show us what the recovery process was like for Unique and where is he at in the current moment of the Power universe. I do think that he's going to be a wild card and honestly the most important character of this season, and I talked about this in the last video that I did on Unique. Even Pernessa, the mother of his child, she believes that he is gone. Rock believes that he is gone. Everybody in the South Side believes that Unique is dead. The only one that obviously knows he's still around is Early Tyler. Could he have had some help along the way to, get Unique back on his feet? Possibly. That also is something that I believe will be explored in episode 1 or within the first couple of episodes. But with Unique, everyone thinks that he is dead. He can come at anybody, anyway, anytime, and they won't see it coming. He's going to catch a lot of people off guard. And to be honest, I don't think that people realize that it's Unique until the last and final episode of the season. Like, I don't think that Rock, Kanan, Snap and Pop, Stefano, anybody, I don't think that none of these people realize that Unique is still alive until the very final episode. And when that is finally revealed, I still think that Unique survives. I think that there is some story left in Unique. He's become a fan favorite. Like I say, he's my favorite character in the Power universe, but he's become a fan favorite, and I definitely think that there is still some story left for him. But I think the biggest question is he going to go after Rock for killing? Well, even though she didn't pull the trigger, obviously she was in on what happened. Is he going to go after Rock and maybe even Kanan for killing Ronnie? Now, of course, Kanan is still a child, so I don't really see Unique going after Kanan. A lot of people believe that he's going to have brain damage and that he could go after Rock, or be under the impression that Rock set him up and, ultimately killed Ronnie. So that could be a storyline too. But I do think that whichever side Unique chooses, or if he stays to himself, he's going to be a very dangerous character in this season. I think Unique in season 4 will be one of the most dangerous characters that we've seen in any season of Power history. I'm putting him up there with Kanan in season 3 of the original show, or season 5, season 6 Ghost. Like, I think that Unique is going to be that much, just brutal. I think he's going to be that brutal for this season, and he's going to be the most important character in my eyes. Moving on to Rock. Now, as I stated, Rock and Kanan have been at odds, and I do see them patching things up like always. But, the fact that she killed his father in front of him, although we know that Howard possibly didn't have their best interests at heart, Kanan is still taking that not so good, as we've seen in the trailers. And because of that, there's going to be tension between the two of them. And I think that she's going to try to lure Kanan back into her good graces, because she's probably going to need Kanan, and Kanan's going to need her. I think they're going to need each other. They, to a degree, it's almost like they balance each other out. They're going to be at odds with Snap and Pops. They're possibly going to be at odds with Unique. We don't know. But there's whoever the enemy is for them this season, Kanan and Rock will need each other. I think that Rock will survive. I know some people have teased the idea that Rock is going to get off this season. I just don't see that happening. I really don't. For this universe, for this storyline, I think that she makes it into the very ending of this entire show, whenever that is. But that's like my overall thoughts for Rock as of now. Moving on to Jukebox. Again, same with Kanan. I think Jukebox is going to be much more heartless and much more ruthless this season. We've seen some things that's going on in the trailer, and for me, I think that there's going to be something even more tragic happen to someone close to her this season, which I'm going to get to that next. But I think that there's going to be something so tragic, so devastating that happens this season. She's going to be a much darker character. It's almost like she won't give a care in the world. I think that is where Jukebox is headed. I do expect her to still pursue her music to a degree, but as always, I think that's going to backfire on her and not go the way that she would want it to go. Which leads me to my next point, Uncle Marvin. Now, Uncle Marvin has become a fan favorite. He's one of my favorite characters from the show. I think that this, unfortunately, could be the season where Uncle Marvin passes away. Whether he's getting caught in the crosshairs or an accidental death, whatever the case may be, I think that Uncle Marv is in huge danger this season. And, we look at how he did work for Sal Baselli and how that ended up going, and the consequences that he almost had faced. Now he's working for Stefano, and something tells me that something's going to go wrong with him working for Stefano. Stefano could become an enemy, and I think that could lead to Uncle Marvin's death. If we go back and watch the trailer, we see a quick moment of Rock shedding tears. I can only see Rock shedding tears for someone that dies. And I think that someone will unfortunately be Uncle Marv. But if not Uncle Marv, I think it's going to be the next person that I'm going to talk about, which is none other than Lulu. Now, Lulu it looks as if he has finally recovered from rehab. with his drinking and his thoughts of unaliving himself and whatnot. It seems as if he has recovered from that and he's getting back to the music. It also looks like he has a new love interest based off of what we saw in the trailer. He's possibly going to get a new artist. But again, it's power. I just expect all of those things to go wrong. I think that Lou is going to go through more heartbreak this season. But I also think that he's going to be an important character to the Thomas family. I think that this will be a season where we see how, not just how much he wants to be in the game, but what measures he's willing to go for his family. Because obviously him and his sister have not been on the best of terms this entire show. And I can only see that getting worse in this season. Just seems like nothing goes right for Lou. It seems like everything goes wrong for him. And, you know, he's had his moments where he's, you know, tried to prove his loyalty to Rock. In terms of him doing things like putting down D-Wiz in season 1. And just everything that he's done. He's shown his moments of, you know, being loyal to his sister, being loyal to the family. But he's also shown moments of just simply not wanting to be involved in his life and wanting to focus strictly on the music. And I think that we're going to get more of that. There's going to be more heartbreak. There's going to be more of a letdown. Again, I just don't see things going well for Lou. Although I would expect Lou to survive. But given what happened last season, I don't know if that's a high possibility. We have to wait and see. Now with Snaps and Pops. Again, don't know if they're going to be the enemy of Rock. It looks as if, based off what we've seen in the trailer, they kind of had a one-up on Kanan, and they ended up being Kanan's boss and Rock's boss also. But if we all know how Rock is, we know that she's not going to be under anybody's thumb, at least not for long. I expect Snap, Pops to be at odds with Rock and there to be some type of war going on there. Or it could be the other way around. They could be on the same team and have a common enemy. But that's going to be very interesting to see. I don't know what the likelihood is of that. And lastly, I want to get to Stefano. I think that Stefano potentially could have had something to do with Unique getting back on his feet. Although I don't know the high likelihood of that if he is still, or if he's back working with Rock. Now, again, I believe that if Marvin passes away this season, it's going to be because of Stefano or him doing work for Stefano. Some way, somehow, I think it's going to tie back to Stefano. And that could lead to Rock and Stefano being at odds. I know I've been talking about that a lot, about people being at odds, and it's just the power universe. You just don't know. Like, one moment you had these two people that are friends, they're ride or dies, and the next moment they are in a war. They're at odds forever. And let's not forget, at one point Rock was under, her and Unique were under Stefano's thumb, and they were facing the possibility of death. I think that the tables can very much so turn this season, and Rock could be the one to have the upper hand on Stefano, but we have yet to see. But I appreciate everybody for watching this video. That's what I wanted to touch up on today. Once again, I'm sorry for not doing a breakdown of the season 4 trailer, but I just wanted to give some thoughts and opinions and predictions as if to what I believe is going to happen with season 4. Now, this is not final, right? You know, we have 10 episodes. I could very much so seeing some of my predictions being wrong and doing another prediction video, which would probably be my final prediction video towards the very end of the season. But again, thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We have plenty of content on the way. And we're going to be doing more coverage on Power. We have short films coming soon. Lots of things that I'm looking forward to you guys seeing for me and Zay. Of course, that's King Ironic. We have a lot of things for you guys to see later on in the year, so stick with us. We got you guys covered. But comment down below what you guys think about season 4 of Raising Kanan. Your thoughts, your predictions. What do you expect to happen? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? Let's talk about it in the comments. And until next time, peace and love to everybody.